He- Hello, friends, how are you? I hope you all must be fit and fine. So, today we are going to do a new chapter which is getting know to the plants. So, here we are. We see different plants in our surroundings, isn't it? In our environment and in our surroundings. So, we see different plants, but do we know about them? If we see them, we also have to know about them, right? We use them, we almost live through them, like they give us oxygen. That's why we are alive over here. So in this chapter we are going to learn about the plants and getting know to the plants and about different characteristics, how do they help us, and everything. So let's start the chapter. So the first is the types of plants. So here are the some types of plants, as you can see: herbs, shrubs, trees, climbers, creepers. All of these are the types of plants. The easiest way to learn this would be herbs, shrubs. They are matching. Creepers, climbers also matching, and at the last, trees. So herbs, shrubs, creepers, climber, trees. Now their parts would be root system and shoot system. The root system contains of taproot and fibrous roots, and their functions are over here. They are modified for storage, support, and exchange of gases, and the shoot system is modified for three parts in stem, leaf, and flowers. The stem is mostly modified for storage, support, and making food. And flowers is not, they are not actually modified, they are made for one work, which is pollination and seed formation. And their work is that to pollinate the plant, to pollinate from flower to flower and expand the plant to its a very large quantity. Now the leaves modification would also be like storage and support and trapping food and defense. All of these are the types, and about the system like root system and shoot system and their kinds. Now here are some questions over here. You can see a plant like this, and here in this plant you can see something common. Like if you will see that this plant have so many different parts just like another plants, and there are some questions along with it, and we have to answer the question based on the image of this plant. So here we are, the part that usually makes food, we can do it like this part usually makes food, and this part is usually present inside the soil. This birds and flowers attract butterflies, and this whole stalk over here grows above the ground. This would be the whole explanation of this, isn't it? Now, as we have learned about getting know to plants, let's start this chapter. So over here we see plants all around us. Plants are found on land and in water. So plants can be terrestrial and aquatic. Some plants may be small as grass, while others may be big, wide, large, such as trees, and some plants may have flowers, others may have not. Thus we can classify them in such various ways, different ways like that. So as we are getting to the types of plants, do we all know that plants are found in everywhere on earth, and hence we live depending on the plants? So don't we have the right to know all about the plants? So in this chapter we are just going to learn that. So now the types of plants. Plants are classified as into many types based on their size and nature of the stem. Herbs are small plants with flexible, thin, soft green stems. Like they are small and they have green stems, green leaves, tiny flowers, and they are just about very small. Like you have seen mint plant, they are almost about your one hand feet or foot feet long, not more than that. Or some herbs may be more longer than like that, just like banana. Banana is classified as a herb because of its characteristics, but it can reach at the height of the shrubs. Shrubs are about medium-sized plants. They are 1 to 3 meters height. They are thin but hard, woody stems. Their branches arise from near the ground. Like not as much as the trees, but mostly they arise from near the ground. Example would be rose, jasmine, hibiscus. They are such examples of shrubs. Now trees are tall, big, much bigger than 3 meters in height. They have thick woody trunks, and the trunk has often a rough covering called bark. It's rough that if you rub your hands about 4 to 5 times a bit hardly, then it will also scratch your hands. Their branches arise from near the top of the trunk. Their branches arise not from the ground like that of the shrubs. At the top of the trunk, like suppose here would be a tree, then the branches would arise from here. But it's not like that in shrubs. In shrubs it will be, if the stem is like that, the branch would also come from over here. That is the difference between shrub and trees. While trees are long and woody as well, this is also a common difference. Trees would be concluded as neem, mango and banyan are such examples of trees. Climbers and creepers have long, thin, weak stems that can neither hold the plant upright nor bear the weight of the plant. See, if you have seen climbers or creepers, they are thin, like grapevine and beetlevine and climbing rose, money plant, and grapes, and just like watermelon and such plants like that would be climbers and creepers, and hence they cannot get support of their own. Here you can see every kind of plant. Mint plant, it is very small and like soft green stems with green leaves. Now here comes creepers, which lay on the ground and have heavy fruits, like pumpkin plant and watermelon plant would also come in this category. Now it comes of shrubs. Like shrubs have branches starting from the ground, as you can see in this image over here. And here is a pea plant climbing on a stick over here, stick figure like this, and the pea plant is climbing on it, hence it's a climber. And this is a tree. Herb, shrub, creeper, climber and tree. Now let's see parts of the plants about that. Although the sizes of plants may vary greatly, like some plants are very small, though some plants are very large, but the structures remains the same too. The plant is made up of two systems, as we have learned before. the root system and the shoot system. So the root system, during germination, the radicle is the first part that develops from the seed. You know where is the radicle? This thing over here is called a radicle, and this is the first to develop from a seed. It grows downwards into the soil to form the root system. See, first it's like that when you plant the soil, and then it came again downwards so that the root system can form properly over here. Now the tip of the root is protected by a root cap. This thing is called a root cap. Tiny root hairs grow out from outer surface of the root. They absorb water, minerals and salt. Now over here there are two types of root systems as well. We have learned about two types of systems, the root system and the shoot system. There are two types of root systems as well, taproot and fibrous root. Taproot, as you can see over here, have a straight root going like this large. In many plants, the radicals comes continuing downwards and downwards and downwards, becoming larger and thicker. This is becoming larger and thicker as slowly as the plant grows. And this over in the center becomes the primary root or the taproot. Later, many small roots arise from the taproot, like you can see over here, and grow laterally from the secondary roots, or called the lateral roots. Now, the taproots hold the plant by anchoring it deeply so that the plant wouldn't throw away in some flood and something like that, tsunamis and tornadoes and whatever. So it protects it while losing its soil away and helps anchoring it. The mango, apple, rose and beans plant are some examples of plants with taproots. Now here is our fibrous root system. In many plants, the radicle grows for some time and then it stops growing. These plants do not have a single main root. Instead of so many roots grow from it. There is no such main root or primary root in the previous photo as we have seen. In previous diagram, there was a primary root and the secondary roots, but there is nothing such like that. They have a cluster of thread-like roots. They are thin but are a cluster. Roots which do not grow deep in the soil and they are spread out, their holding is also strong, and upper layer of the soil, they not anchor the plants too deeply like tap roots do, and such shoot system helps this plant to absorb water quickly as it has so many hairs, and it also helps in anchoring the plant to a wide area. Lawn grass, wheat, rice plants are some examples with fibrous roots. Now here we are in the next one. There are some important functions of roots as the follows. Like they fix the plant to the soil and anchor the plants, giving them water and nutrition. And there are some modifications which roots may suffer from. They are modified to carry out some additional special functions which are very important for the plants. So they are mostly modified for storing food and additional support. And here you can see some of the vegetables that we eat like carrot, turnip, beetroot, are modified tap roots. If I tell you that you are eating a root instead of a carrot, will you believe that? No, it's not a vegetable or a fruit, it's actually a root. Amazing, isn't it? Well, food is stored in a form of starch. Plants use this stored food when they need extra food to grow, when they grow suddenly or randomly at any moment, and they grow at a large consistency, then they need extra food to grow. Hence, they just store the food so that if they need it, there not be any less food left. And when they grow old, they're not able to get it. We humans could get it in the form of vegetables or fruits, and anyways. For additional supports as well, in some plants such as sugarcane and maize, the fibrous roots are not sufficient to keep the plant upright. So a few roots develop from the lower part of the stem into the soil to provide support. These are called stilt roots. You have seen in sugarcane mostly. In some plants or trees such as banyan, the roots grow from down to the branches. Like suppose this is a banyan tree, then the roots will grow like this. You know why? To support it, to act as a pillar, because the weight of the branches and the tree are so large that they need to spread out more, and hence are called prop roots. Now, in some climbers such as money plant or pepper plant, thin roots grow from the thin stems to help the plant hold on strongly so that they didn't fall or something like that. Because if they would fall, then they would not be able to get up back, and then they will absolutely die. So like money plants and pepper plants, there are very thin roots which are very less likely to see them, but they hold the plant and support the plant so that they can climb onto some surface. Here you can see climbing roots of a money plant and the prop roots of a banyan tree over here acting as a pillar, and the stilt root of a corn plant. Here is the corn. Now see, for exchange of gases, mangrove trees are a waterlogged soil. They grow in waterlogged soil. So the roots would not get the enough oxygen that they need, and hence they develop a specialized aerial roots called pneumatophores. Well, what are the pneumatophores? They are also called breathing roots. They are lateral roots which grow from the main root or the tap root, or you can say the primary root, and they take in the oxygen and then pass it to the primary root or the tap root. Here are the pneumatophores. In this image you can see these things over here. These are called the pneumatophores, and hence they grow because mangrove trees grow in such a region that do not have full soil in them or water in them. That's why they live in a waterlogged soil, half soil half water. That's why there is so logged in that area and clay soil. That's why they could not even breathe properly. Hence the pneumatophores come out of the soil and then help these plants like mangrove trees and much other plants so that they can breathe properly and get the air and the oxygen that they need, and could also exchange gases for making food. Now here is a special fact if you need to know Orchids have also have aerial roots that get water from the air, like the moisture you can get from the air. These orchids have such aerial roots. Now we have learned till over here exchanges of gases. Just review everything quickly and then we will get everything into the next part. So over here we have learned what are stilt roots and the prop roots, and how the money plants, how the extra stem of the money plant help in their climbing, and their modifications of roots, and then the root system about fibrous roots and tap roots, and then the root system and shoot system, and then we have about we have learned about different types of plants: herbs, shrubs, creepers, climbers, and trees, and their characteristics, and hence we have get to know to the plants. Now this was the part 1, and the rest of the chapter we will study in part 2. Hope you liked this video and understood everything. If you had did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye.